Good morning. It is Thursday, the 10th of July, 2025. Welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social. I am Graham Hughes. How are you all doing this morning? And in the chat, we've got blah blah CW. We've got Martin Harrow. We've got Scott. We have got Deers and Vendetta. We've got Joanna in there. We've got Pygmalion. We've got Sean, Dog 4x4. We've got Elle. We've got Liam. We've got Veg Pie. Got Liz. Hey everyone. How you all doing this morning? Hope you're feeling all right. Hope you can hear me. So I want to say hi to everyone. And also, if you'd like to join us, all you need to do is hit that lovely subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button and wait for a minute. And then you can join the people in the chat. We could do with about 150 more subscribers to hit our next milestone on this channel with 42,000 subscribers. So, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbours, tell your colleagues at work. I don't know. They might want to come along and find out what's going on. To transpose through a gobby scouser who likes to swear a lot. Anyway, that's what you're into. Let's talk about what's going on today. Well, the main headline today, which I don't really want to talk about that much, but because it's the main headline, I guess I've got to talk about it, don't I? I don't really get a choice in the matter. Is the live feed on the BBC is about this one in, one out deal that has been struck between the UK and France. There's been over 20,000 dinghy crossings or small boat crossings in 2025 so far. That's a bit of an increase from last year, and they're going to have a pilot scheme. So, yeah. Blah, blah, CW, did you get the message I sent last night via the website? Yes, I think I did. Sorry, I was a bit sleepy last night. So, what was that about? Yeah. The Parliament. Okay, there is a petition, which I've signed, to legally enshrine the rights of adults to physically transition using NHS services. It's got 80,000 signatures so far. It runs out in just a couple of weeks' time. So if you would please head over there and quickly if you can open more windows than one, get over there, give it a sign. We need 20,000 people more to sign it, and then it will go to a parliamentary debate. Well, it'll be considered for parliamentary debate. The government has responded by saying new legislation is not necessary, as all patients have the right to receive care and treatment that is clinically appropriate and meets their needs. But that's not true. You see, we need the right. We need to enshrine the right for people to physically transition using NHS services. So yes, because otherwise it's up to the discretion of people. Panels and doctors and people like that, and high court judges for some reason. Anyway, so let's look at this pilot for these trying to stop people coming across in small boats. So the pilot could be, let's set up a processing centre in Calais. Let's make safe routes available. But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to send back 50 migrants a week, and the UK is going to bring in 50 migrants with ties to the UK. So this isn't going to bring the numbers down at all. I don't think it's going to stop the boats, because this is about 5% of the numbers coming over. The France will alter their maritime laws for interception. The UK wants to roll out digital ID checks and mobile biometrics, and this is the first French-UK, Franco-UK summit since Brexit. And also, there's other stuff on the agenda, like the Storm Shadow missiles, but this is the main thing that's going to be covered by all the newspapers like a bunch of lunatics. But like I say, this is 5 or maybe at best 6% of the crossings. This isn't enough to be a deterrent. This isn't going to smash the gangs, whereas having safe and legal routes would smash the gangs, because once you go through the process, you've been given a thumbs up or a thumbs down by our legal system, whether you can claim asylum here or not, before you got here, like, it negates the point of getting in the boat. Because if you get in a boat and you've already been granted safe passage, why would you? And if you get in a boat and you've been told that you can't come here, we'll have all your details on a file somewhere in an archive at the bottom of a database server, whatever. Anyway, migrants in Calais are saying they're going to try again. And there are legal and logistical hurdles as well. And there is limited support from the rest of the EU. Macron likes to talk a big game when it comes to the EU, which is fair enough, but he's not in charge of it, you know? I know that with Britain out of the equation, the only, instead of there being three big beasts in the EU, us, Germany, and France, there's now only Germany and France. But I don't think that EU citizens in Greece are going to be too happy about these rules coming in. I don't know. This seems to me like kind of border theatre again. Token returns. Like the Rwanda scheme, it was just like a token scheme. It was never going to take that many people, even if it worked. Grand language, but no scale. I don't understand why the diplomacy required to swap 50 asylum seekers for 50 other asylum seekers, the bureaucracy required, the logistics required, is somehow less than just having a fucking processing centre in Calais. If someone wants to explain it to me, please go ahead, explain it to me. I've got no clue. I don't really get it. I hate it when I don't get it. I hate it when I don't get a joke. Everyone else is laughing and I'm sitting there going, was that joke just not funny or did I just not get it? It's a horrible feeling, Anyway, the UK wants to stop the smugglers model. They need to have a place people can process their asylum claims in Calais and elsewhere as well. I think people should be able to claim asylum in other countries around the world. Go to a High Commission, get yourself a number, an ID thing, get your passport scanned or your ID scanned. That's put on the system and your claim will be processed in the same legal manner that it will be for anything else. That it would be for anyone else who is applying for a visa. You got to understand the number of people who are allowed to apply for a visa for the UK is unlimited. There aren't any limits on that as far as I know. So anyone from anywhere at any time can walk into an embassy and say, I would like to apply for a visa to visit the UK. And their claim will be processed. They might say no. They might say yes. I don't see why a scheme that people have to pay for, clearly, we can't offer this for free, but, it's just slightly, it's at cost or just slightly above at cost. You have to obviously pay people in the embassy to do this job, but it is literally just turning up and allowing people to apply. I don't get what the block is there. I also realised that I've got my top on inside out again. I keep doing that. But, little behind the scenes secret, I was wearing my hoodie and I was sitting here wearing my hoodie and I pressed play on the old intro and I'm like, right, getting ready to go. Hey, got it all in my head, ready to go. Me yapping for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I thought, do you know what? It might get a lot warmer over the next hour and I might be sitting here sweating like a bandit. So I ran over to the other side of the room and grabbed this and took my top off and put this on while the title sequence was running. And I've obviously put the top on the wrong way around again, like I did the other day. It's fine. It's reversible, I guess. Anyway, moving on. I don't understand why you can't apply for asylum at any High Commission or embassy, British embassy around the world, like you can apply for a visa. There are visa services. There should be asylum services. And I'm not saying that people should be housed in the embassy. I'm not saying that they should all, if you go to if you go to like the Filipino embassy in Kuwait, it's full of people sleeping on the floor because of all the Filipinos who were brought over there as essentially indentured laborers or as maids who were very, very badly treated. And so you have a lot of people staying in the embassy until they can get home to the Philippines. I don't envisage that. I envisage having a kiosk where you go and you get your stuff scanned. It gets put into the system. You get given a number. You get given a code. You go on a website and you have to navigate the website. And no, there's not a translation into whatever language that you speak because it would really help if you spoke English if you want to come here. But I would also like other countries to get onto this as well and offer asylum services at their embassies as well. I don't see why they can't. And I'm saying charge for it. That's not me being naive. It's not me being Machiavellian. They charge for visa services. All countries charge for visa services, with the exception of Madagascar. When I went there, the visas were free. Thank you very much, Madagascar. You're a beautiful country and everyone wears hats. I love you, Madagascar. Anyway, aside from Madagascar, most countries will charge you a nominal fee for checking that you're not a wrong'un, right? Obviously, it'll be a bit more than that to check that you are a legitimate refugee. But in the meantime, you can stay in the country that you're in until your claim gets processed. And then when it does, fine, get on a plane, come to the UK. We'll sort up a family for you. And yes, people are going to go, but Graham, that'll be open to everyone. Loads of people will turn up. Fine. You know what it means if loads of people turn up and they all pay 500 quid? It means we'll make loads of money for our overseas embassies, which is still being used by those millionaires who have supposedly left the country. They haven't left the country, but if they do, they can still use our embassies that we pay for, that they don't pay for because they don't pay tax. So how about we get some money put back into our embassies from around the world? And yes, millions of people might apply, but then we'll make lots of money. I mean, this is a win-win as far as I'm concerned. I mean, even if you're a right-wing libertarian fucking dingbat who thinks that money is everything and the market will sort everything out, and the market is so moral and pure, the market that only really works if you're born into money in the first place. But whatever. I don't understand. Safe routes, right? Legal pathways, and a deal with the EU, not just France. The EU needs to come in on this. And I've spoken before about the need for quotas around Europe, where we do these deals with other countries and we say, right, we need X amount of people, because we actually do need people to come here and live here and work here. And we say, okay, well, we need some architects, we need some school teachers, we need some nurses, we need some chartered accountants, whatever qualifications people have. Find out. Is there somewhere for these people to live? Why are we paying for people to live in fucking hotels? They could live with their family. Why are we not allowing them to work while their claims are being processed to people who are here already? They're sitting there in a hotel. We're paying for that as taxpayers for 2 years. You can see why the right-wing gam-gams get all upset about it. Of course they do. It's a ridiculous situation. Purposefully engineered by the Tories to make it so that, everyone feels like asylum seekers are somehow destroying their way of life, or taking things that aren't theirs. Anyway, getting to an embassy or consulate is very hard in some places. Blocked by local police or militia, says Mr. Tis 27. Well, I would assume that someone who can't get to the embassy in Iran because there isn't one would be in Turkey, where there is an embassy. I don't know. I might have a bit more experience of going to embassies in foreign countries, but I don't know. I think if you're a refugee and you're trying to get to safe havens, you're more likely to be in not the country that you're trying to flee from when you apply. So if you're from Uganda, you'll probably apply in Nairobi. You know what I mean? I'm not quite sure what a housekeeper is. The posh woman downstairs says the word housekeeper, but I didn't like to ask. Ooh, a housekeeper. Ooh, not at all. Morning, Alistair, says Steve. Morning, Alistair. Morning, Steve. What else? We take a lot less than many other countries via asylum. This is why it never gets mentioned. Is beyond me, says Roger. Yeah, no, it never gets mentioned that we take. Well, Zoe mentions it. Zoe also mentions the fact that Zoe Gardner, if the big problem is immigration in general and we just don't like people coming from other countries, stop issuing visas. Stop it. You see, we can talk about down the road, there are going to be more refugees because of the climate change. And if you ever read Jared Diamond's book, Collapse, it's quite interesting. He looks at all the collapse of all these different civilizations, from Easter Island to the Mayan civilization to Iceland, the first tribes that lived on Iceland. And nearly every single one is climate change related. Like every single one, climate change related. Something happened with the climate, which fucked them. And within 2 years, they were like, shit, we've got to leave. We've got to go. And the whole empire just fell. Collapsed. It collapsed, my friends. It collapsed. But yeah, we don't take as many people as other countries do, and we totally could. And the idea that people are going to, so many refugees are going to apply, well, fucking let them. If we're going to make a little bit of money every time a refugee applies, I'd rather they gave us the money, or someone local in the country that they're in who works in the embassy. I'd rather they got the money than some fucking people smugglers who put women and children in dinghies, dangerous dinghies, and fire them for 30 miles over the water in some of the most dangerous, choppy, and congested shipping areas in the world, like the Channel, which is a hell of a pinch point. I've told you this story before, but hang on a sec. We've got Paula here saying problem is by you're in a safe country. No, but you're not. If you're from Uganda and you're in Kenya, I don't think you can call it a safe country. And even if you are in a safe country, there's nothing in the Declaration of Human Rights, the UN Declaration of Human Rights, or in the Refugee Convention 1951 about having to stay in the first safe country that you get to. In fact, that would be a nonsense, because obviously everyone would just stay in Greece or in Italy or in Spain. So I don't think that those countries would be up for a deal on that. So yeah, we're talking about the Channel for a moment. It's a pinch point, right, of all this shipping and all this. So if you're traveling across the ocean, so you've traveled over the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Atlantic Ocean on cargo ships, and you get to see the charts, these big shipping charts, and you have to mark the charts with pencil as you go across, and then you run them out, and then you go back. These charts have on them where all the things to be avoided are. So, submarine cables, shipwrecks, reefs, rocks, all the kinds of stuff. Lighthouses, right? Or lights house. So, there's a lot of things, right, that could be on the map. If you're traveling across the ocean, there's fuck all on the map. There's literally just, the map is just empty space. There's a little bit of a coastline over here and a little bit of coastline over there. And the mark where the Titanic sank. That's about it, right? It's quite impressive. You go anywhere near the outside of the United Kingdom and it's just chock-a-block with stuff. And then you get to the Channel. The Channel, my friends, let me tell you. There is so much junk in the Channel. And then you look at the radar and you see how many boats there are in the Channel, and you talk about maybe hundreds. You can look on the radar when you're out at sea, when you're in the ocean, and there won't be a pip. You won't see anyone. There will be no one around you for a 20-mile radius. You go on the radar when you're in the Channel. Oh my God! Whoa! Be careful. Alistair, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Just put it out there. If you feel down or frustrated with things, have some hugs. Oh, Alistair, that's really nice. Thank you, Alistair. If you really need help, please reach out to someone. I think we are here as a community, so please support people. Yes, that's really nice of you, Alistair. Thank you. And I know I keep going on about the Discord server and the fact that I should be using it more, but if people want to use the Discord server to reach out to each other and continue the conversation on after these shows, you're very welcome to do so. L signed it, my friend. That's from Alistair. Mr. Tisk, I am the one at home in day and have to really force myself to clean when to do one of the 3 floors one day. Doing top one this afternoon, joy of joys. Yeah, I hate cleaning. I haven't cleaned up from dinner yesterday. Ben Chambers came out. I made him right. Fucking duck, right? And egg and vegetable fried rice. God, it was good. Seriously. He gave it a 9.5 out of 10. He wouldn't give me a 10 just in case he ever ate anything better. I said it can go up to 11, It's kind of an arbitrary scale, the amps in Spinal Tap, but he was having none of it. But I got a 9 out. I got a 9.5, and now I feel bad about making that delicious meal for Ben. And I haven't made the same delicious meal for Kat at some point. So now I have to go out and buy some more duck so I can make the same meal again for Kat. Maybe it'll have the same results, but the detritus, the shit that's left over from that meal is still sitting in the kitchen because I didn't clean it up last night because me and Ben were watching movies. And we watched The Surfer with Nicolas Cage, which I quite liked, even though it's quite similar to a script I wrote about 15 years ago called The Line in the Sand. But that was set in the Victorian era, and it was railway workers in Australia. But it was kind of the similar themes, people going mad in the sun. Nothing new. We've seen that already with Walkabout, and there's a few other movies where white people go mad in the sun in Australia. But, I think it's a good little subgenre of horror movies. We watched this other movie called The Trap. Before we go on, can I just tell you, I only watched it because pitch meeting guy, Ryan George, had done a pitch meeting about it. So I wanted to watch it first so I could watch the pitch meeting because I knew it was going to... Sorry, I keep touching the mic. I knew it was going to be absolutely dog shit, right? Oh my God. No matter how bad you are told this movie is, it is somehow even worse. That there are no redeeming qualities. M. Night Shyamalan has made this film to promote his daughter's singing career, and her songs are shit, and the concert's really low energy, and the acting in the movie is fucking dreadful, and the script is appalling, and the plot holes are just vast and unfathomable. This movie got made with a $30 million budget, and now I must walk into the sea forever. It is so bad. I mean, it's not even campy fun like Battlefield Earth or Showgirls. Campy fun. A terrible movie? The Room. Campy fun. Yeah, cool. It's so bad, it's good. This is so bad, it's absolutely diabolical. Watch it for a laugh. Watch it to take notes on how not to make a movie, maybe. But, oh my God, it was awful. I don't know if anyone's seen it in the chat, but maybe stay away. Dark, if you're doing some duct take, some lessons from China, and prefer it 24 hours in advance, special guests only. Yeah, you need to call them up. The Surfer, Jeff True, I didn't understand it, enjoy it, or see any reason it was made. It's a bit sad actually, because the guy who played the baddie surfer guy in it, who's head of the gang, James McMahon, is it? He died last week. I was watching it and going, hang on, didn't he die last week? And it was his last movie that he made. He was actually the son of the Prime Minister, of a former Prime Minister. He was in Nip Tuck. The guy from Nip Tuck who died last week? He's the son of the Australian Prime Minister. Or not the one now, but, years ago. I mean, it's easy to get into a film if you're the son of the Prime Minister. Oh, I wonder how Nick Cage got his big break in acting. What's his maiden name? Coppola? Any relation to Francis Ford? Oh, yes, it's his nephew. The very definition of nepotism. Not saying Nick Cage is a bad actor. I mean, he's quite fun to watch in a lot of things, especially when he dials it up to 11. But still, and the Trap. Oh my God! So who was the lead? Who was the lead in that? Well, it was M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, who can't. She's not a great singer, and she's a terrible actress. But they thought that. I wonder how she got the job. I wonder how. And her dad is actually in the movie playing her uncle. I wonder how he got the job. The other big news story. Should we move away from small boats? Because we talked about that to death yesterday. Should we talk about it a little bit though? This is border theatre, as far as I'm concerned. I just got. It was so stupid that it was painful. 1 in, 1 out. 50 people a week. Gonna make a dent. 5% of the people crossing on boats are going to be sent back. Fucking roll that dice. Roll that D20. So I've got to roll a D20. Yeah. And as long as it doesn't land on 1, I'm fine. Yeah. Okay, give me the dice. Oh, it landed on 19. Winner. Or any of the other numbers apart from 1. I'm a winner. That's a gambling. How much would you... if you got to do betting, this is how Trump lost his casinos, isn't it? This is how his casinos went bankrupt. Gave people a D20 and said, "Hey, here you go, roll that. And if you get any number from 2 to 20, you win big. If you get a 1, you lose everything." And everyone's like, so let's talk on. I want to talk about Jake Berry. Jake Berry, the guy who said that Farage caused the riots last summer, now changed his tune. He's joined Reform. Sir Jake Berry, posh scouser, went to Liverpool College like a twat. Not blue coat, like me and Evan Harris and Mitch Benn. Not the smart school, not the smart state school. There are working class kids from all over the city that went there. No, not that one. Liverpool College, which isn't private anymore, but it used to be when I was there. When I wasn't there, when I was that age. Jake Barry was in the year above me at Liverpool College, and they were like our rival school. And he's a posh scouser, which just the worst, just the absolute worst. They're growing up in a city that was fucked over by the Tories, and he's like, oh, do you know what? This world needs more Tories. Anyway, he's defected to Reform. He's now a refucker. He's gone from being a Tory to Reform, which is like, I don't know. It's like going from being a spree killer to a serial killer, I guess. I don't know. It's somehow worse. it just is. So he's joined, and they refuck a lot of braying loudly. And I just want to, I'll bring this up with Phil tomorrow when we do the agenda. But I distinctly remember, play back the tape, me saying that refuck are doing really well, and they'll do a deal with the Tories, and Phil being absolutely adamant that, no, Graham, you idiot, the Tories hate refuck. They hate Nigel Farage. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they hated Boris Johnson, but they still voted him to be the leader. Because the Tories don't give a fuck. They're not ideologically driven. They were, they can hold a grudge quietly, unlike the left. They can never hold a grudge quietly. Oh my God, never hear anything of it, but the grudge, do we? Oh, you stole me grandmother's tin whistle, you did, you bastards. Oh, okay. In 1972, I'll never forgive you. Okay. Which is funny, the right never forgive the left anything. Oh, George, that Gordon Brownie sold off all our gold. And the left never forgive the left anything either. Oh, Tony Blair, that bastard, be liar. So no one forgives the left. Maybe you're left or right. But the right forgives the right all the fucking time. As we've just seen by, Trump going, hey, that Epstein thing? Yeah, there's nothing to see here. There's no list. There's no file. It doesn't exist. And all of his supporters going, yay. Calling for Pat Bondi to resign. I'm like, you do know she's doing exactly what Trump wanted her to do. Pete Hegseth stopping the arms getting to Ukraine earlier, last week, and then Trump had to reverse that, and everyone's like, oh, you want to sack Pete Hegseth? He's a drunken twat, And I'm like, that's the point. That's why he's in that position, because Trump's not going to get rid of him. But the right will forgive their own anything. Anything. Oh my God. I saw a post, and you know what? It could just be a troll, but it seemed quite genuine. And it was asking the question of, if Trump did the most horrific thing to this guy's daughter, would this guy still vote for Trump? And the answer was yes. So yeah. Stop using your rationality to explain the actions or predict the actions of people who are deeply, deeply, deeply irrational. Stop it. Anyway, so yes, this country is inherently right wing. We are the odd ones out, it seems, being on the left. Left, you're right, Liam. You are absolutely right. But we're shepherded into being right wing by the newspapers that just scream hate and fear every day and get into the minds of elderly people. One sec. Just wait there. Oh no, that says you are awesome. Hang on. There we go. Not all boomers. Just want to say that. Some elderly people, the ones who read the Daily Mail and the Daily Express and the Scum newspaper. I need to get a spittoon. Some people, a lot of people, a fuckload of people, the vast majority of boomers, but not all boomers, There's at least 1% that definitely aren't like that. But the rest of them, oh my God, shit. Yeah, easily taken in, easily fooled, easily conned. Is Watchdog still on the BBC, or have they just given up? Because, like, fuck it, man, we can't keep track of all these hoaxes and all this daft shit that's going on. You know, all these people falling for these obvious, clear hoaxes and con jobs. Con jobs coming out of our ears. But yeah, we have been lied to for decades by the likes of Rothermere, Murdoch, the Barclay brothers, Richard, Burley Legal, Desmond. We've been lied to by these people who have controlled the media. And then the Daily Mail has been very, 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 very effective at controlling social media while people are reading fewer and fewer actual physical newspapers. Their website is the most read news site in the world. Do we need press reform? God damn, we need press reform. But, you know, that doesn't seem to be a priority for this Labour government because it wants to be a one-term government, clearly. I don't know. I think you're right in the way, Liam. Maybe vaguely centre-right, but the selfish gene in us, I think. We want better things for society generally when questioned. Yeah, we do in isolation. But in reality, people are selfish. A lot of people are selfish, you know? Is it selfish of me to want a better world for this country, for the world, for the future, for the kids? Probably, because it makes me feel good about myself. Makes me feel like less of a twat. I mean, I am a twat, but it makes me feel like less of one. So that's all right, isn't it? Scott says, morning. To Trip. Hey, Trip. How you doing, Trip? Steve says, Trump once made a sexual comment about Paris Hilton, who was 12 years old at the time. Trump once made a sexual comment about his own fucking daughter. Said that if she wasn't his daughter, he would date her. Yeah, the guy is a paedophile. The guy is a massive fucking nonce. And he's in charge of America. Nonce's paradise. I mean, you could take a lot of Trump's actions and the things he's done and the things he says, and he is he's the Trump Taliban. He is the effectively. And if you looked at a list of things that the Taliban wanted and a list of things that the Russians wanted, or at least the Kremlin wants, and a list of things that Trump wants, those things align. Those things fucking align, my friends. Like obsession with fossil fuels, obsession with women's rights being trampled upon, obsession with being able to do most horrific things to children. Yeah, they're very much in parallel. Very, very much in parallel. One other story that I wanted to talk about today is that the this welfare bill passed the second hurdle, possibly the final hurdle in Parliament. It's been down as a money bill, which means that it gets kind of fast-tracked, which means that it could become law within 1 month. This is government cutting the health element for new claimants of universal credit. So PIP is being not touched, right? Universal credit, which is means tested. PIP is not means tested, but universal credit is means tested. And the UK government is cutting the health element for new claimants. There's been mixed reaction from the Green Party, Lib Dems, but also from backbench Labour MPs. And this part is part of a broader welfare squeeze, balancing public budgets on the back of the most vulnerable in society, which just blows my fucking mind. Like, put taxes on, you know, and it goes like this, right? To access embassy services abroad, you have to be a UK taxpayer. That's it. So if you do fuck off to another country and you don't pay tax in this country and you get in a bit of hot water, you cannot access embassy services. No one's coming to bail you out. They're not going to give you a lawyer to come around and talk to the police to let you go. Something absolutely critical, as I know, because it happened twice to me while I was traveling around Africa. You know, if it wasn't for the British Embassy, I'd probably still be in jail in Cape Verde or Congo. Just saying, right? So yeah, that's it. Oh, okay. Well, we can't take your passport off you, obviously, but we're going to flag you as someone who doesn't pay into the kitty over here. So why the fuck should we give you embassy services that's paid for by British taxpayers? Go on. Pay to play, my friends. Pay to fucking play. Also, no representation without taxation. Let's flip the script. Wish I had a script. That could just flip. Flip the script with Graham Hughes. Maybe we should do that. We do script writing lessons. Should we do script? We go through movies together and I'll just pull them apart and tell you why exactly they are so bad. One of the problems with Trap was that the dialogue was not written by a human. It was like ChatGPT on a bad day. It was just the room levels of clunky, exposition heavy dialogue just for the sake of it. You seem like a nice person. I'm going to tell you all the secrets of everything. Sorry, I thought I'd crack a joke. Says, Liam, never apologise. Never apologise for cracking a joke. I'm going to have to sneeze now, so I'm going to turn my mic off. One sec. Live broadcast. What do they do? What do they do on the news if they need to sneeze? Do they have like a sneeze button? And they press it and it cuts to a news report about, I don't know, something. So it's a news report about wigs. New people wearing wigs has gone up. Anyone watch the brainwashing of my dad, made by a filmmaker who became worried about the negative influences of phone use over her father? Ooh, no, Freckle Puny, but that does sound quite interesting. It does sound quite interesting. I like this idea of doing a show called Flip the Script. Go through movies and I'll be like, this is what should have happened. I'll spend all day talking about the Star Wars prequels. Jesus. Graham, they should get embassy service just charge them 10 times the cost. Well, that's the thing, Jeff. Like, embassies at the moment are free. Like, if you require diplomatic support, a lawyer from the embassy, you don't have to pay for it. That's paid by the taxpayer, right? That's why I always pay my taxes in this country, as far as I can. As far as I'm able. I don't earn that much, so you don't have to pay that much in tax. If you give me more money, I'll pay more in tax. It's fine. But didn't you know, Graham, news presenters are robots? Yes, they never sneeze. That's how you know they're not real. That's how you know that I'm not AI. Is Graham AI? I don't know. Have you seen him sneeze? Yeah, I've seen him sneeze. Okay, he's probably not AI until they get onto that, and then they go, at some point in one of your 1,500 live fucking shows, you really need to sneeze for no good reason. Anyway, so there's other stories going on. Trump has slapped a 50% tariff on Brazil over the Bolsonaro trial. Because Bolsonaro's on trial, his political mate, who also tried to mount an insurrection against his own government, his own country. He's saying, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't, have judicial fucking review of what this motherfucker's done. It can't go to court. It can't be, the evidence can't be presented. I mean, that's just not the American way. He's rich. He's rich and he's got rich mates. Hefty tariffs, accusing the President Lula of judicial vendetta. A judicial vendetta? And Lula has pushed back, defending the independent judiciary and the trade balance. I don't know where they're going to get the bananas from, but, good luck with that. And Trump, global stage, he's trying to use this economic leverage and judicial interference and trying to ruin democracy in other countries. Like, red flags all over the shop. But here's the thing. Yesterday was the 9th. Yesterday was Trump's day of reckoning when all the tariffs were supposed to click back into place for the tariffs that he announced at the beginning of April. But Trump always chickens out. Taco Man! Hey, Taco Man! How's it going, Taco Man? So now it's going to be on April the 1st. He promised 200 trade deals and he delivered 3. Not 300. 3. 3 trade deals. He got 3 Unfortunately, it looks like August the 1st is a Friday. So we can't call it. I wish it was a Tuesday or a Thursday, because then we could say Taco Tuesday, Taco Thursday. Maybe the next one when he pushes it back to September or something. Alan saying, are you saying that people like me who don't pay tax other than VAT, etc., shouldn't get help? I'm now on universal credit, moved from ESA last month, and we don't have enough income to pay tax. No, Alan, not you. Not you. I'm talking about people abroad, people who aren't living in the country, who are millionaires, who could afford to pay tax and are choosing not to, and yet still get to vote in our elections. I don't think that's right. I just don't think that's right. So you're going to be a tax exile in another country. You'll get to vote because you live here. That's fine. No problem with that whatsoever. But if you live in another country as a tax exile, you shouldn't be allowed to vote in who's in charge in our country because you don't pay into it. You're not paying for that election to take place. You are not paying the wages of the MPs that you elect. So fuck off. You don't get a fucking vote in this. Not you, Alan. Not you, Alan. I want you to stay. I'm saying that people who live in other countries because they've left, because they're a millionaire and they don't like the tax regime here, even though these people are kind of fictional and hardly anyone's left, it's just made up by this one company that made up a thing, and they are a company that runs golden passports for people. You know, it's a wealth management company, whatever, you know, a wealth facilitation company that goes around giving blowjobs to very, very rich people, facilitating them, fellating them, whatever. They have an agenda. And they said that it was 15,000 people. And this number's been thrown around. It is bullshit. Every time you hear any mealy-mouthed motherfucker saying, 15,000 millionaires have left, tell them to fuck off. Or at least scream it at the telly, which is what I do quite a lot. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Anyone else hear about Grok, the chatbot on X, suddenly spouting Hitler as a hero? I didn't, but now I have. And that doesn't surprise me. Shock factor 0. Because Grok is disgusting. Not just Grok being owned by Elon Musk, who is a Nazi, richest Nazi in the world. It's also the fact that their data center in Memphis is based on gas turbines, which pump out all this toxic gas, all these toxic fumes to the people who live in Memphis, which is a majority black area of the city. Where people, residents, are having to breathe it in. So if you use Grok, you're basically a massive racist. And obviously a Nazi as well, by the looks of things, Paula. But thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. I'm going to make a goal. Can I make a goal? Is that a bit cheeky? Can I make a goal, please? Because and it's it's not a problem. But like, obviously, we kind of rely on super chats for keeping going on this channel. So I'll do a bumper show. There you go. So yeah, just get a few super chats in, and I'll do a bumper show. Otherwise, I'll stop. Otherwise, I'll deactivate. There you go. I think some of you just got to watch till I finish. So I like the fact that these of all different lengths of time. It's just kind of like when I think like, that's it now. I've spoken enough. We can move on. Thanks for all you do, Graham. We appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Rosie, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. For some reason, that didn't come up as part of the target. Oh, that's a bit unfair, isn't it? The target's on 1 as far as I'm concerned. But thank you. Thank you very much for the super chat, Rosie. You are very, very kind. People who live in other countries don't pay tax here shouldn't be allowed to own our effing media. Yes, Acro Dave. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's an interesting conversation to be had here. The unbiased BBC's Chris Mason has a total propaganda piece on Reform Limited on the BBC website. Hate Mason, the Kunzberg, Peston, etc. Paul Grok started out so well. There was always a worry it would change due to how many ex-users were using it. Indeed. Christopher says, apparently that was Grok 3 that got corrupted and people were speculating later on Musk taking over the account himself. Grok 4 is being rolled out later. Grok 3 was the Nazi Grok. They did not see that coming. Anne says, wasn't that a song? Starts like, all my brows are brown and my hair is grey. I've been for a walk on a summer's day. Oh, yes. The Mamas and the Papas. I know it well. Millionaire should leave. Mecca Mao loves landlords. I'd say that those who have retired to the likes of Spain and then vote reform, they can have their vote removed. I left Britain because there were too many immigrants. So I came here. I became an immigrant. Can't beat them. Join them. If you add the small 4-line character X, it becomes a swastika, a very easy marketing change, and the social consciousness is more accepting. Yeah, true. I think we run the risk of underestimating the right all the fucking time, and I wish we'd stop doing it. I wish we'd just, appreciate the fact that these Motherfuckers are actual motherfuckers. Anyway, so yeah, I mentioned the universal credit health squeeze. It's a bit shit. Although there was a story the other day that actually, because the way the bill's been rewritten, it's actually going to lift 100,000 people out of poverty. But we will see. We will see. And then the fact that democracy is under horrific pressure in the US should give us all pause for thought on supporting populist knobheads in this country. Yeah, people do. People think that reform have got their best interests at heart, and they get quite angry and aggressive about it. But there you go. What can you do? So I'll head over to the papers now. I think. Yay, it worked. I like it when it works. I like it when I'm not holding anything, it just appears. Astonishing bravery of Southport children. Parents hail survivors who face knifemen alone. Girl 7 shielded others during murderous attack. Oh my God. What a thing for her to go through. My God. And then we've got the free National Trust passes of people running from a house. They're running in horror from the house. Caitlin Moran on the Salt Path scandal, because you've got to have an opinion, haven't you? Got to have an opinion. You got an opinion? That's what I do here. I just tell you what's happened and then give you my opinion on it. So there you go. Doesn't Macron's wife look made up there? She's almost halfway into a Gallic shrug. And there you go. Sakia and Victoria Starmer welcomed President Macron and his wife Brigitte to number 10, the second day of the French leader's 3-day state visit. 50 migrants a week will be sent back to France. Trial of one in, one out system will begin deporting 1 in 17 people arriving via channel. Sorry, it wasn't a D20, it was a D17. Roll the D17. So Keir Starmer and President Macron are expected to unveil a one in, one out returns deal today that will allow up to 50. There's some weasel words for you. Up to 50. Oh, not all boomers. Go away. When someone says up to before a number, right, that could mean any of those numbers leading up to that number. So 1 is up to 50. You see this lot in marketing, where they go, it's up to 100% effective. Kills up to 99.9% of germs. Up to is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. Watch out for it. Right. Anyway, back to the papers. Trial of one in, one out. So yeah, 1 in 17. That's all right, isn't it? Good odds. May the odds be in your favour. 25k income from benefits beats many in full-time jobs. Ministers have offered Labour rebels fresh concessions on welfare, as analysis shows that people on sickness benefits can take home more than a minimum wage worker. That's not a problem with the people who are receiving the benefits. That is a problem with minimum wage. It needs to be raised to be a living wage. It shouldn't be just enough to survive. It should be enough to live. Anyway, right. Why Wimbledon's Royal Box Royal Box is the new A-list red carpet. I could make so many ginger pube jokes there, but I'm not going to because, that's beneath me. Proof work doesn't pay under Labour. Sickness benefits to be worth £2,500 a year more than minimum wage as the disincentive to work grows, a new report warns. There's some fresh bollocks for you from the Mail. The Mail pumping out fresh bollocks every day. And then inside in story of humiliated Jerry and her F1 husband's shock sacking. Oh, that's not easy to say, is it? Shock shacking. He's been shackled. That was a shock. I'm turning into Sean Connery again. Ah! There wasn't a H in Sean until Sean Connery came along. Before then, it was seen. And then he said, no, it's just seen Sean. True story. But there you go. Jerry from the Spice Girls. She's Ginge. And then we've got My Months with Patricia Highsmith. Who is Patricia Highsmith? I don't even know who Patricia Highsmith is. Can we Google it? Can we Google her? Am I like not in with the zeitgeist? Who is she the lead singer of some New upcoming band. Oh, she's dead. She's an American novelist. Oh my god, I feel bad now. Well, she's been dead for 30 years. But there you go. She wrote. Oh, she wrote The Talented Mr. Ripley. Oh, okay, now I know who she is. Okay, all right. If it had said my months with the writer of The Talented Mr. Ripley, I would have heard of it. Sorry, I feel bad now. I go, like, who the fuck is this? Why is it? And now I feel like really uncultured. Look how uncultured Graham is. He's never even heard of Patricia Highsmith. Someone in the chat's going to go, it's she wrote the bloody Talented Mr. Ripley and Ripley's Game and all of Ripley's books. And the price of salt. So, by the way, is 0. What? By the way, is 0. Yes, actually, you're right. Up to 50 it could be 0. Has Chris Mason been anally surprised by Grimes? I don't know. I don't know if I like that sort of moving towards a bit of homophobia there. Yuri, anally surprised. I would say maybe, I don't know, I'm satisfied. But not surprised. I don't think that's the right word to use, my friend, in these circumstances. But Grimes is not a nice person. He really isn't. We'll call him crafty wank. Sarah Davis, have to bail soon, but have a chat. Thank you so much, Sarah, for the super chat. And migration is required to prop an aging population, says Kate Smith. And you're not wrong. You are not wrong at all. Anyway, right. Back on to the papers. Oh, wow, we're 4 of the 10 away from the goal. We've got another 21 minutes to drop in a super chat if you want to. If you want to. You don't have to. If you want to do that. If you want to help. Get the confetti. Is there a confetti animation that happens automatically when we hit the goal? I don't know. I feel bad now because for some reason Rosie's super chat didn't get across the line. Didn't get across the line in time. Anyway, Anglo migration deal hangs in the balance, apparently. There's the Lionesses stormed to a 4-1 win over the Netherlands, which is very impressive. Well done, the Lionesses. They lost their first game, which is a bit dispiriting, but they absolutely thumped the Netherlands. And of course they did, because this lady here can levitate. It's quite an impressive skill. She just kind of she lifts up about 1 foot off the ground, and just if she leans forward, she can just kind of like move like this. It's really cool. Like a fucking warlock. Like a fucking warlock that has eaten the flesh of a non-baptized child. Anyway, Anglo-French migration deal hangs in the balance, it says. Anglo-French deals over migration deal with deadlock last night. Well, I'm afraid the Guardian seems to be a bit behind the times, because everyone else seems to be reporting there is a one-out deal for 50 people. 50 people. Girl 7 fought like hell during Southport. It's just amazing courage from this young girl. My God, the shit that those kids have gone through. And then what did the right do? They turned it into an excuse to terrorize children in that community even more by having a riot outside their houses. Because, those children weren't traumatized enough. Labour MPs call on PM to tackle the cost of living crisis. The government must refocus on more radical ideas to help people with everyday costs such as food, energy, childcare and housing. I don't disagree. Super chats are open. Migrant benefits could be cut to reduce appeal of the UK. That's from Starmer. Starmer wants small boats deal with France. We've discussed that. How to slow down your aging. Do you know what you want to do? Put loads of filler in your face. Like, make your lips really plump. And then put loads of stuff in your face like this. Let your cheeks come out. And then you put little spirals on your cheeks. And you look like the little jigsaw puppet that comes in on the tricycle in the Saw movies. That says, I want to play a game. Would you like to play a game? Scott, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. From Rosie by proxy. Oh, absolute legend. Thank you. Mr. Tisk, they won the game. We, from the rest of the UK, will be hearing nothing else from you. Is it true you once won the World Cup in 1966? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. We never talk about it. It never gets mentioned when we won the World Cup. But the Lionesses have won the Euros before, haven't they? They won the women's Euros in 2021, didn't they? And then didn't they have to go to the fucking go and meet Boris Johnson or something? It was 2022 because they knocked it back a year. There you go. Yeah. It was held in England and England won. Yeah. 2022. And top scorers were Beth Mead and Alexandra Pop. They got 6 goals each. But that sort of the 4 goal morning. I think one of the Lionesses scored 2 goals, so she'd be well on her way to getting the golden boot. Unlike the guy from the F1 who's married to Jerry Halliwell, Jerry Halliwell's husband, who got the boot after 20 years in F1, which I shouldn't laugh about, but you know. BBC bosses will be hauled in Parliament over Greg Wallace saga. Do you know what? Between Greg Wallace and Glastonbury, right? This is a great excuse for Labour to just get rid of them because they're all fucking Tories. So you know, I don't mind that the BBC bosses are getting into trouble over showing like Bob Dylan stuff on the BBC iPlayer, like that no one fucking saw. It wasn't on national TV at prime time or nothing, but you know, it was on the website for a few hours, and they're like, "Oh shit, better take that down," because no one had watched it. no one had looked. If heads must roll, oh well, never mind. Labour will target rich, but won't call it a wealth tax, says Minister. HMV is expected to target new taxes and revenue-raising efforts to the wealthy, so she can appease Labour MPs. Appease Labour MPs. That's nice, that. I like that. Thank you very much for that little rhyming couplet there. And tell them privately it's a wealth tax. Measures would fall short of a wealth tax of 2% on assets over 10 million, as called for by Lord Kinnock. Getting out there for Vistaprint. Showing my porn preferences there. Oh, look at the shading on that business card. Bloody cookies. Follow me around on the internet, grassing on me to people watching live. Sure. The Daily Star here for some reason. With Red Bull gives you the boot. Christian Horner, Mr. Halliwell, has been sacked as F1 Red Bull boss just months after wife Jerry stood by him despite his sex texts. It's just called sexting. It's just call it sexting. It could, in the same box there, just above my head, where it says sex tests, it could say sexting because that's what we call it. The Star, stupid Star. And then we've got roaring success for the Lionesses there, and then we've got Water Cheek, which is probably about a water company, and then National Trust. There's lots of family passes, free family passes for the National Trust, everywhere, all over the shop, like a pork chop. And of course, yes, I am a member of the National Trust. I guess that these newspapers are trying to get right-wing people who read their newspapers to join the National Trust, so that when the annual vote comes around and Restore Trust try to get everyone to vote for them, these are the right-wing 55 Tufton Street motherfuckers who want to take over the National Trust and take away the information from historical houses in the UK that says this historical house was paid for by the proceeds of slavery. They want to take that away because they want people to know their own history of the country in which they live. And as someone with a degree, an A-level and a degree in history, politics and history, that really pisses me off. It really, really pisses me off. Fuck off. Stop diddling with our history, right? The history is the pursuit of putting together the jigsaw puzzle of what happened in the past. I don't think that history, learning the facts of what happens, should be dictated to by a bunch of billionaire nepo babies who register their companies, which are charities somehow. The Institute of Economic Affairs that lauded the kamikaze Liz Truss budget. I don't see why those motherfuckers, Civitas, I don't see why those motherfuckers, the LGB Alliance, bunch of fucking transphobes, I don't see why they should get to dictate on what history is in this country. I don't think they get a say on it. I just don't. I'm not saying we all have to agree on history, but we can at least know about it. We can at least know that these things happened. And, you know, if you're so minded and you're a petty-minded little bigoted racist fuckwit and you want to go, well, you know, we did slavery, but, you know, we did get rid of it, so that's all right then, isn't it? 300 years of slavery. 300 years of slavery. 150 years of not slavery. It's not that great if you think about it. And it took till the 2010s before the bill for the loan was paid off. They loaned money out to compensate for slavery, not the slaves, the slave owners. Paid off in the 2010s. But no, don't learn about that. Anyway, so restore trust, evil. National trust, great. 40 Love, actually. There's the Queen there. Was joined by Hugh Grant, the Love Actually star, in the Royal Box. Royal Box at Wimbledon yesterday as she watched no vaccinations. Djokovic beat the Italian Flavio Cobolli. Fucking Novak's is like 38 years old. Fucking retire, mate. You're too old. Go home. Benefits pay more than being at work. Claimants on full handout will be 2,500 better off than those on minimum wage. Yeah, okay, so stick up the minimum wage. Put the minimum wage up. Attorney General gives himself veto over government policy. Woo! Lord Hermit has handed himself an effective veto over government policy that new documents reveal. Really, the Telegraph? Is this what you're going with? Is this what you're going? Are you ready for thigh guy summer? No, men. If you want to be taken seriously, don't wear shorts. Macron and Starmer agree nuclear pact. 200,000 to be hit by Dr. Strike. Trump could send more help to Ukraine, but he won't. Xbox says thank you and goodbye to Musk. I also said Xbox there. Xboss. This is about Linda Yaccarero, who has left Musk's Twitter after 2 years of driving it into the ground. And by the way, you know, I'm not one to talk about being taken seriously. I am doing a live stream wearing a hat and a little waistcoat thing with lots of pockets, because you need that when you're doing, you know, stuff. I got this picture of someone at the front row when I was at Pulp. Someone, I was trying to get the set list, and someone said, that's nice, that is. And some woman, she came over and she grabbed it and she went, that's like, where'd you get that from? It's a bit like, she said, that's a proper one, isn't it? And I went, yeah, it's a proper one. I don't know what she was on about, but whatever. Anyway, so should we go to the Financial Times, my friends? Should we go to the FT? The FT. Will Trump... Oh, fuck off. Advert for Vistaprint. Will Trump gain control of the Fed? Probably. Manchester rolls with Oasis frenzy. So they're doing gig reviews in the Financial Times now. There's Jazz Hands. Here, Linda Yaccarino, I guess it's pronounced. She's leaving the top role, pictured here in Las Vegas in January. Has quit her role as chief executive of X. I guess she didn't have the X factor. Moving on, US tech boom propels AI chip maker Nvidia to become the world's first $4 trillion dollar company. $4 trillion. $4 trillion. That is more than the GDP of the United Kingdom. That's $1 trillion more than the GDP of the United Kingdom. Company that makes chips. I mean, I love chips, especially with my, fish from the Seam's a really great place. There's also a place in Durham here called Bell's that do really good fish and chips. You can sit inside, get them on a plate. Pretty good. And you get the bits, the bits from the. They say, do you want the bits? You say, yeah, I'll have the bits. The crispy bits. Oh, they're the best. I mean, it's strangely unhealthy for you, I'm sure, but how do you make that much money from chips? I don't know. EU says strikes and wildfires could lead to worst ever airline delays this summer. I hope not, but there you go. Well, I mean, fewer planes. That'd be good for the environment, won't it? Anyway, do you know this Trump bill? The big bastard bill, right? You know that bill, right? Do you know one of the things it does? Come here, let me tell you. 100% tax break, right? On private jets. So you can claim your cost of your private jet against your tax bill. You can write off millions of dollars for your private jet with the new tax bill for America, for America's new finance bill, whatever you want to call it, the big bastard bill. You can write off as like a tax loss or whatever the fuck they call it, a private jet. As long as you use it 50% of the time for business reasons. 50% of the time. Now, if you are a company that you're a painter decorator and you're buzzing around the metropolitan area of New Jersey, let's just say you're in, I don't know, I forgot the name of the capital now. Trenton. Let's say you're buzzing around Trenton in New Jersey, and you think, I'm going to buy myself a new van in order to put the stuff in. No, they don't have vans in America. They have pickup trucks because they like all their stuff to get wet. Okay, so they got to get a new pickup truck to literally work. I cannot work without this pickup truck. You have to prove, in order to write that off against your tax bill, you have to prove that you use that pickup truck 100% of the time on work. But if it's a private jet, my God. Anyway, blah, blah, CW. Keep up the good work. We appreciate you, mates. Oh, thank you very much, blah, blah, CW. That is very, very kind of you. Manchester crazy round Heaton Park today. Is it Manchester? Mr. Tisk? Got to take the long route to Oldham tonight to avoid it all. True. They are missing the days when most people thought that the British Empire was a good thing, and the people who criticised it were thought to be weird. Yeah. The British Empire was a thing. And I think, on balance, it did more horrible things than it did good things. It did good things for Britain because it gave us loads of money. But the amount of problems it caused around the world, by dicking around in other people's politics and other people's shit, by transporting people all over the fucking world from one place to another, causing ethnic tensions to this day. I mean, look at the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth's 56 countries, right? 56 countries in the Commonwealth. Take out the rich ones like, Canada and New Zealand and Australia. And the ones you've got left, right? You can put the GDP of all of them without it. Let's take India out of the equation, because obviously India's quite a big country. But let's just take out those 4 countries and Britain, obviously. So we're just going to work on the 51 countries remaining in the Commonwealth, right? Put the GDP of all of those countries together, and it's less than the GDP of the UK. Does that not give you pause? Does that not make you think, what? That can't be right. That can't be. Yeah, it is. Do the sums. Add it all up. It's fucking crazy. Freckle Puny, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. If only criminal J. Trump could meet the big beautiful Bill in his jail cell. There's a great line from the Bloodhound Gang song, I Hope You Die. And it says, whatever happens next is all a blur, but you remember that fist can also be a verb. What a beautiful song. Right, my friends, you have 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Probably less than that now because there's a bit of a delay on this. To jump in a super chat in order for me to do a bumper show. So if you're so inclined to drop in a little super chat, I would be very, very, very grateful. Will the big bastard bill cover Trumpton's Dubai golden jet? Yes, of course it would. Absolutely. He can write that up against his taxes. Half $500 million for that golden jet. 4 trillion is meaningless. There isn't enough gold to cover the amount of money in circulation. It's just numbers. Money is a lie we all agree on, says Accurate Dave. Yeah, but we haven't used the gold standard for decades. Like, it's not based on the amount of gold. It's based on the amount of money you can get to buy things. But yeah, it is based on trust. I promise to pay the bearer. If you don't believe that promise, then yeah. But at least money is a little bit more controllable in some ways than crapdown, which is uncontrollable. And if you lose all your money, good luck getting it back, dickheads. It's unregulated, mate. You're not going to get your money. You're not going to get your money back. Alda in Preston Village saw from bus bods taking pics. What? Aldi changed the sign outside. Oh, Aldi changed the signs outside Heaton Park to read Alda. Okay, Alda. All right, very good. Money has been meaningless since the abolition of Bretton Woods, says Joanna. Yep, you're absolutely right. I'm Bill. I'm big and very beautiful. What's your name? Oops, I've dropped the soap. I've tried to send a super chat on Google, but once you remember the password, good luck with that, Google. Well, if you're on PayPal, which you shouldn't be, you have to feel bad about anything these days, don't you? But if you're on PayPal, Graham David Hughes, you can look me up on there, and you will find me, and then you don't have to pay anything. Say I'm your friend and family. We're all family here, really, if you think about it. Billionaires own the debts of other people. Yes, they do, and that's why they're billionaires. Oasis from Bernage. I used to live in Bernage. In South Manchester. Oh, I lived off the Kingsway. Could they not have had their concert in Wythenshawe rather than North Manchester? Ooh! I don't know. Maybe it was just a logistics thing. Maybe it was just that place was, Heaton Park was available, whereas, I don't know, somewhere in Wythenshawe wasn't. Wythenshawe. Didsbury. Fallowfield. Could play in Fallowfield. Could play in the old Queen of Hearts on the corner. Well, next door in Scuffy Murphy's. That isn't Scuffy Murphy's anymore. That's the place where I saw Peter Kay before he was like mega famous. Just before Phoenix Nights and everything. I saw Peter Kay, and the only reason why I went to see Peter Kay is because I thought that it was the guy who did Dennis Pennis, which is Paul Kay. It was a funny set though. This is like when people are trying to get tickets for Peter Kay, and I'm sitting there going, I once went to see Peter Kay I should be on like, would they lie to you, shouldn't I? Reading off my card. I once went to see Peter Kay by accident. I'm like, is this the warm-up guy? I was expecting Dennis Pennis. Anyway, I'm Big Beautiful Bill. Put this frock on. Your name's Christine from now on, says Akko. Akko's really getting into this role play. We've got 15 seconds to drop 3 super chats in. I don't think we're going to make it. But I might just keep going. PayPal super chat sent Graham. Oh, thank you very much, Joanna. Okay, cool. Right, we're going to keep going. Joanna and possibly Lee have saved the day. Lee, put a date in your diary if you wanna, Lee. Come to Liverpool for let's have a look. I think it's the 29th. 29th, Monday the 29th of September. If you can make it over, Lee, it'd be great to see you again. And I'm doing another talk at the Ship and Mitre. Me and Phil are going to be discussing Labour and comms. We're going to be saying this is what Labour should be doing when it comes to social media. It's going to be called Social Media. Why are the left so fucking awful at this? Maybe we'll put the word fucking in there. But we'll just say why the left so bad at social media. Like that's going to be, I'll think of a snappier title close to the time. But the 29th of September. This is not just an invite to Lee. This is an invite to everyone watching. If you want to come to the Ship and Mitre in Liverpool, we'll be doing a gig there. It will be a ticketed event, but the tickets will be free. It will be a donation thing like we did last year. You can give a donation if you want. But otherwise, come along. There's going to be a bar there. We can fit 75 people into the room, which seems a bit madly. I know you were there last time and you'll think, what the hell? How did you fit that many people in? But if it's standing room only, we can apparently fit 75 people in there before we upset the fire brigade. But yeah, please come along. I'll let you know more about that, and we'll have a page set up, for the tickets, for ticket sales. So thanks very much to Joanna, who put 50p in the idiot. Thank you so much. Not a mega amount this time, just a small amount. Keeping my buffer until universal payments turn on. Universal credit payments. Oh, thank you very much, Joanna. That is really, really kind of you, Joanna. Really appreciate that. Paul Kay has done well in it in movie shows all over. Yeah, he was the guy who could bring the guy back from the dead in the Brotherhood Without Banners, or whatever they were called, in Game of Thrones. Played quite a big role in Game of Thrones. He did. Gallifreyan, I think I might go watch Aliens after this. I love Aliens. I'm not big on movies, but this one's that one's a favourite. At least in the mindless hate machines in the film can be stopped in a quick and neat way. Yeah. Don't know who's worse, Burke. You don't see them fucking each other over for a goddamn percentage, do you? Hey? It's game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we going to do now? Thanks very much, Joanna. Joanna dropped £5 in the Super Chat fund. You are very kind. I'm going to give Joanna a little Super Chat animation. Super Chat for Joanna. Woo! Thank you. I saw Peter Kay in Zanzibar. What? The Zanzibar. Sorry, Martin. I thought you meant Zanzibar as in the Zan of Tanzania. Because Tanzania is a portmanteau word. They brought together Tanganyika, the old name for the mainland bit, and Zanzibar, which is a separate entity. They squished them together and made Tanzania. I thought you meant Zanzibar. That's where Freddie Mercury. That's where. What was that? What was it doing there? Doing like fucking Saturday Night Fever or Friday Night Fever, in my case. Friday Night Fever. That's what we should call the show, shouldn't we? On Friday. Can you tell I've got ADHD? I don't know if you can tell I've got ADHD. Anyway. Sorry. I apologise in advance. But yeah, sorry. You mean the Zanzibar in Liverpool, which used to be a really good club, but now people don't seem to like it because it's got new management who don't seem to be as nice as the old ones. It's not quite the same. The last time I saw Paul Kay, he was playing Terry Pratchett in a TV biopic. Ooh, he's everywhere in small roles. I thought it was great. Yeah, I love Aliens. Big Aliens fan. Big Alien fan. Alien and Aliens, two of the best fucking movies. Really good. The Predator in the new Alien thing looks weird. Oh my God, there's a TV show. There's an Alien TV show coming. It's either going to be really good or really bad because there's nothing in between in the Alien franchise. It's like super good, super fucking awful, and you're not getting anything in between. One of my best mates, born in Zanzibar, came here age 2. Yeah. Hey, moderators, are you deleting my comments? Says Liebchen. I'm not. I'm not. Blame the moderators. It wasn't me. Super chat for the super stream. Thank you very much to Anne for the super chat. Yay, thank you. Okay, moving on. What else have we got to talk about this morning? We have the Trump bollocks that I was mentioning earlier. What else is going on? The migrant deal will be seen as a failure if numbers don't fall. Numbers will not fall. I can guarantee that. There's a huggable piece of the Sycamore Gap to go on permanent display in Northumbria, or Northumberland as I like to call it these days. And you can go and hug it. You can go and hug a bit of the tree. Seems like a weird thing to do, but there you go. Features a lot in the movie 28 Years Later. I've watched some American reviews of 28 Years Later, and they just don't get it. It's funny. It is funny. Big cultural thing. British people are like, wow, that was amazing. Americans are like, what was even happening there? Because they think it's just like a normal zombie movie. It's not a normal zombie movie. It's got zombies in it, but it's not a normal zombie movie. It is a particular story about a particular island that is very peculiar. It's a peculiar story about a peculiar island and what it would be like if we completely Brexited from the world. What would it be like 28 years later? What would our life be like? I'm being censored by YouTube then, the bastard, says Liebchen. I'm sorry for that. It's not me. Sorry if I was late for the super chat count. I was interrupted by a call from sister. To be fair, that's the first time this week. Oh, well, and don't worry about it. They never have to apologise for dropping the super chat. You know, I'm not going to... Come on. You know I'm not going to fuck off and go, I'm sorry, you really got 9 super chats in, so I'm going to fuck off now. I'm not going to do that. I would never. Anyway, so you can go and hug the tree. We're getting a glimpse inside number 10 at the moment as the leaders and the delegations convene around the conference table ahead of the UK-France summit or other. Macron opens speaking in French and explains they will talk about the Middle East, how to stabilise the situation, and how to get Iran to agree to a nuclear deal. The countries need to ensure their sovereignty and security, and Macron thanks the UK for securing the summit. We have wars and destabilisation at the moment, hence why it is important to come together in your royal box, says Macron. Say I'm a child. According to the translation of his remarks, Starmer thanks him and says they will now begin private discussions. Where do most small boats arrive from? This is quite an interesting thing from the BBC. I'll tell you what. Why don't we try doing this? Should we try doing this, right? Instead of it being like me just reading this thing. Watch this. Haha! Take that, BBC. Let's make these big. Nope. Where does most small boats come from? And 16% were Afghan, 12% were Syrian, 12% were Eritrean, 11% were Iranian, and 9% were Sudanese. So there you go. All countries that you could argue Britain had a hand in making not great. Maybe Eritrea, that was more the Italians. But Afghanistan, we dicked around. Oh my God, we dicked around in Afghanistan. We created Afghanistan. Afghanistan only exists because we needed a buffer zone between the Russian Empire in the north and the British Empire in the Indian subcontinent. And we didn't want our borders to touch. The Russians have always been funny about touching people's borders. Ivan, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Woo! I had a really distressing time with my carer the other day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. She told me I don't really have incontinence. How dare she have a medical diagnosis of incontinence? I know my own bladder. I'm sorry, mate. Your carer doesn't sound particularly great at being a carer, from what I've heard. And that really sucks. I'm sorry, Ivan. I'm sorry. It's fucking shit. And Steve says, they're not zombies, Graham. They are the infected. Yeah, they're never zombies. No one ever used the word zombies in films. I think, actually, though, in 28 years later, they do use the Z word in a zombie film, which is there's usually a convention, like you've got to let vampires into your house or whatever. There's a convention around zombie films that you never actually use the name zombie. That's why they're called the Deadites or the Shufflers or the Walkers or the Biters or the Alphas or the Infected there's always a euphemism for the dead, for the the zombies, but they're fucking zombies. They're fucking zombies. That's it. End of. They're just fast zombies. I would be leaving all those countries at the moment I was born if I was born there. Oh, well, to be fair, Iran is a lovely country. Iran is a lovely country. Syria is a beautiful country as well. There's loads of cool stuff to see in Syria. And the food's amazing. And they don't have Coca-Cola. But yeah, I mean, if there wasn't a war there, people wouldn't be leaving, would they? But yeah, Syria, I mean, that's more France's problem, issue, cause of an effect, because Syria and Lebanon were part of the Pikes-Sico agreement or something? I don't fucking know. But yeah, that they were territories, they were protectorates or whatever of the French Empire, not the British Empire. Eritrean, Italian, Iran, it was Britain and America fucking around with Iran that caused everything to go off the rails in the first place. And then Sudan, which is, the fault of the British. Absolutely the fault of the British. Just ask Lord Kitchener of Khartoum. Graham Lowell get disciplined by nuns in school for correcting their pronunciation of Tanzania. It's weird. People say like Kenya's the weird one. Like Kenya, in Kenya, everyone just called it Kenya, but you get a lot of old British people calling it Kenya. I don't know. Maybe people call it Kenya and I just didn't notice. It's like saying Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean. It looks like Nevis, like Ben Nevis, but it's pronounced Nevis. And unless you've been there or someone's told you, the best for this is Kiribati in the Pacific Ocean. I absolutely love the fact that their TI in their words is pronounced as an S, so it looks like Kiribati, but it's pronounced Kiribati. Always look out for that on the Olympic flag ceremony when they're naming the countries that are coming out with the flags. And if they say Kiribati, go, you got it wrong. Silly. And it's Lao, not Laos. You don't really say Laos, you say Lao. Silent S. And it's Suriname, not Suriname. Suriname like Vietnam. You can rhyme that if you're doing a Animaniacs like song featuring all the countries of the world. I hate, and you can also rhyme Zambia and Gambia, which is also good. But Nambia isn't a real place. That was just invented by Donald Trump, where he decided he needs to make up a name for an African country that sounded about right. I think he got Namibia and Zambia swished together and he came out with Nambia, which is next to Narnia. I hate fucking zombies. Stop fucking them then. Hey. Wasn't Beirut likened to the Riviera before the West screwed it up? Beirut's beautiful. Beirut, again, some of the best food in the world. And it's one of those wonderful cities that has, and Iran, Tehran is the same as this. Santiago in Chile, which looks like Chile, but it's pronounced Chile. All of those places, they have a city and they have mountains in the background, and it's just fabulous. I love seeing the mountains as a backdrop to a city. I think it's really cool. I'd rather not be a city, to be honest with you. I'd rather just see the mountains, but humans are going to make things that are tall. There you go. Feckle Puny, my parents are from St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, there you go. They spelt it correctly. In Scotland, we say it like Kenya. They're very keen for it to be called Kenya. Chaos, head to Scotland. The first Scottish government will not let you get reformed and protect you. Don't get refucked. The Chris C says the world is going to shit because of a few billionaires and their hateful views. You're absolutely right, Chris C, and it's why we have to make the battle lines. Draw the battle lines. It's not left versus left, all right? It's not the centrists versus the socialists or the hard left or whatever. That shouldn't be the fight. The fight should be all of us against the billionaires. The billionaires with a B, because there's only a handful of them. They're easy to take out. Should we? Do you want, my friends, to watch a little bit of what's going on in Downing Street? Here we go.
French President Emmanuel Macron are posing, as you can see there, in the Rose Garden for photos,
Macron's only got one arm.
With other key government figures, fellow Labour politicians, including the Home Secretary Yvette Cooper. You can see
like
on the end there, and the Chancellor Rachel Reeves, and
look at those eyebrows, Jesus!
Background there.
Mate,
so,
Bert out of Bert and
he's
asked for his eyebrows back, mate.
At Downing Street.
Look at those fucking eyebrows.
And discussing a deal to send some migrants across the channel on small boats back to France. And they are co-hosting the Franco-British summit in London, and we'll be discussing that further later. This is part of a
the fact that number 10 Downing Street is
by
this absolutely
President
mad,
Macron,
huge building. It looks tiny from the outside,
has been here for the past few days, today being the final day of that state visit. And as part of one of the measures being discussed in terms of ways for them to deal with migrants, one of the options is for every migrant sent back, France would send an asylum seeker to the UK, possibly one with a family connection to Britain. Now, this deal, called One In, One Out, hasn't been confirmed.
The joke was? It was, why can one never have 2 eggs for breakfast in France? Because in French, 1 egg is enough. Enough. Oh, I need that squeaky tank, don't I? Someone get your squeaky... I'm going to write this down because otherwise I'll forget. Squeaky tank. Do the squeaky tank thing. I'm going to have a little squeaky tank that comes out across the screen and squeaks all the way from one end to the other. And it's going to be excruciating. And I'm going to use it exclusively when I tell a really, really shit joke. And I just have the tank going... Trip says, OMG! Happy birthday, Kate Smith! Happy birthday, Kate Smith. All the best to you and yours on your happy day of your successful orbit of the sun. Congratulations for making it this far. Please stop, says Joanna. Please stop. Stop. The joke is so old. Please stop. He's already dead. Just breaking news: there were no survivors from that joke. Paul Ewan, no more dad jokes fund. Love it. Thank you, Paul. What do you do, Graham? Well, I get paid to not tell shit jokes. Yeah, that's my job. I get paid to. Can you please stop telling shit jokes, Graham? Yes, since you asked so delightfully nicely. I will stop saying Stop telling shit jokes. Graham, Dad, Graham opened one of the Xmas crackers. Kate, is it your birthday, you sweet summer child? Mine is on Saturday, says Diz. Yeah, always good to have a birthday. Have a day when you get to, I don't know, chill out for the day. Were you supposed to? I laughed when that joke was on the West Wing 20 years ago. Oh, my joke's been usurped by Aaron Sorkin. What the fucker taking my fucking jokes? Oh, no. I can see my subscriber number going down now. Hey, listen, if anyone's watching this and you're not subscribed to the channel, like seriously, please just consider just pressing the subscribe button, because honestly, we don't need that many more, and we'll hit 42,000, and it'll be a big milestone for me. And I'm a huge Douglas Adams fan, and it being a 42, obviously, that'll be really, really cool. So if you can see it in your heart, and you like watching these shows, or maybe you don't, you just, you abide me for the other people we have on these shows. Please subscribe to the channel. It makes all the difference. Ivan, thank you very much for the 10 super chat. Graham, did you watch the latest in Parliament on disability benefits yesterday? It was the committee of the whole House, including the votes on the amendments and then the third reading vote. Yeah, I mentioned it at the top of the show. Ivan, thank you very much for the super chats. So this is the disability welfare bill, essentially, that's gone through. It'll probably become law within a month because it's a money bill, and that goes through a slightly different procedure to normal bills going through Parliament, normal acts of Parliament. There's just to reiterate what's going to happen with this. PIP isn't being touched, right, because of the backbench rebellion. What is being touched is the health component of universal credit, which is being reduced, and that is means tested anyway, because universal credit is means tested. PIP is not means tested. Franco Peony, how about uncle jokes instead? Just asking on behalf of not dads who have several nieces and nephews. Well, I'm not. I'm a stepdad, so I'm not a real dad. I have several nephews and one niece. I've got like a football team of nephews. When the Kenyan long distance runner Kip Keino won one of his Olympic gold medals, the commentator says that will be one to show his 24 brothers and sisters. Apparently, his dad was a tribal chief with second wives, I guess. I thought they were just being racist there. I know that the king of Eswatini, former Swaziland, I know he's got a lot of kids because he's got a lot of wives. I never understood that. Do you know what I mean? Like, why is it only men that can have loads of wives? Why can't wives have loads of husbands? That'd be so much fun. Then all the husbands can congregate together and talk about sheds and watch TV and watch football and stuff. And the wife can, get on with her life. Liz Allen, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. It's very kind of you. I've been pushing for Squeaky Tank as the new cricket. Yeah, Liz, I agree. Squeaky Tank. It's just the best. It's just, and the joke would work better as a shit joke if we did have the Squeaky Tank going past as well. Apparently, Grok 4 is now out. How long before he goes full Russian Jewish conspiracy theories? It's the Russian Jewish space lasers. Did you hear about the explosion at the French cheese factory? Says Lee Korn. Debris everywhere. I also told this joke in French and got a laugh from French people. What's a cheese's favourite festival? Glastonbury. What did the cheese say to itself in the mirror? Hello, me. Okay, stop the cheese. Just going. Stop the cheese. Stop the. I'm going to get more money now to stop the fucking cheese jokes. It shouldn't be a money bill. Making it law in a month from now with hardly any other scrutiny is completely unacceptable, says Ivan. I don't disagree, mate, but it's the system. And they have a huge majority. And they can do what they like. And if what they want to do is piss people off, then who are we to stop them? How quick was me Chatier for Grok 3? Mecha Hitler. Sorry, I did that yesterday, didn't I? Mecha Hitler. When the text is really small, I don't know how small it is on your screen, but it's really small. And like a word like that, I'm just like, maybe if you put a dash between Mecha and Hitler, it'll be easier to read. And I don't think I'm used to seeing the word Hitler without a capital H. Maybe. Glastonbury got me. Oh, thank you. Your cheese joke delivery is quite stiltoned, says Gallifreyan Man. Why did the Mexican take your cheese? Because it was nacho cheese. Why is it always cold in the Mexican's kitchen? Because they only have chicken fajitas. I really need that. I really need that fucking tank. Let's get that tank. Let's get that tank sorted. When the cheese is too cheesy. Yeah. Anyway, so what else is going on? We have the fallout from the floods in America where FEMA can't get in. So another thing that you should know. I'm just letting you know all the shit that Trump is doing. Right? So here's the thing, man. So I think it's Christy Nome, the woman who shot a puppy because it was annoying her. Shot a puppy in the face because the puppy was annoying her. She's in charge of Homeland Security, which also means she's in charge of FEMA, which is the Federal Emergencies Response Authorization thing. Organization, authority, something like that. Anyway, FEMA, which turns up when there's a big problem somewhere because there's been a massive flood or hurricane or fire or whatever, have had their wings clipped. And they've had the wings clipped because normally when they go in somewhere, they'll end up spending millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars to get these people who have suffered this horrific event somewhere safe, somewhere warm, set them up, get them clothes, get them food, all the stuff they need, right? They've lost everything. The house has been washed away. They've lost everything. And it usually costs up to, it can cost billions, right? Any expenditure over $100,000, which is fuck all. That's not going to last 5 minutes for FEMA, right? In an emergency situation. Any expenditure over $100,000 now has to be signed off by Christy Nome, the plastic-faced, dog-killing, piece of shit Nazi woman. And so the money's not getting, the FEMA money that should be getting to this place in Texas isn't getting there. Got another story for you. That particular place in Texas, right? They were given $10 million for flood defenses by the Biden administration. They took the money. They didn't spend it on flood stuff. They took the money, which has mostly come from blue states to red states, because that's the way it works in America. And they just took the money. Happy to take the money. But they didn't want it. They made a big fuss about it. We don't want your liberal handouts, they said. We're not going to put in flood relief measures. My God. Stock 4x4. Sorry, Graham. I think me and Pagan started things. What did you start? Oh, no. We got cheese jokes coming in. No better cheese than real cheddar. What about a nice slice of Wensleydale? A nice slice of Wensleydale. What's red and invisible? No tomatoes, says Lee. We're getting really shit jokes coming in. I love it. Why did the man fall down the well? Because he couldn't see that well. I do like that one. How do you steal cheese from a Welshman? Carefully. What goes in hard and pink and comes out soft and wet? Bubble gum. Very good. What's long, hard, and full of semen? A submarine. Why do bees have sticky hair? Because they use a honeycomb. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, they used to use chickens to keep nuclear mines in Germany from freezing because they're such good heaters in larger numbers. Lol. My favourite joke was brown and sticky. A stick. I do like that rubbish joke. Why did the Beatles offend the French? By claiming to be more popular than cheeses. Okay, that's pretty good. So, do you remember a few years ago there was a scandal with bird's eye frozen lasagna that they were using horse meat in the lasagna in order to when it was supposed to be beef, it wasn't. It was horse meat. Do you remember that scandal? Well, do you know what cheese they used in order to hide the taste of horse in the lasagna? Mascarpone. Anyway, moving on. What's brown and wrinkly and hangs out of granddad's pajama bottoms, grandma? What does a paleontologist and Melania Trump have in common? They're both experts in dating fossils. What 4 letters do you call a hungry racehorse? MTGG. Oh, very good. Most of the cheese names I know I got from Monty Python's Cheese Shop sketch. Yeah, I think the same. And also the sketch they did about trees, where it's like, number 1, the larch. Number 1, the larch. Yeah, most of the trees I know come from Monty Python. Some of these jokes are on 2 goldfish in a tank. What's that the other? Do you know how to drive that? Do you know how to drive this thing? Have you heard the story about the 3 holes in the ground? Well. Oh my God, these are terrible. These are terrible jokes. Can Americans pick up a free silencer if they give up some hours? I don't get that one. Dad joke punishment required, says Stephen. It's the chat. It's the chat. It's not me. It's the chat. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? A stick. That's an old one from Liz. What has 8 legs and 1 eye, 2 chairs and half a dog's head? It's very random. What do you call a sheep that's tied to a lamppost in Swansea, a leisure centre? Ozzy walks. He's walking along with a sheep under his arm, and his mate says, "Is that your sheep?" He says, "Yeah, sheep are for shearing." He says, "Fuck off, get your own." How do you weigh a millennial in Instagrams? Hey, I like that. Wensleydale was from Gromit. Oh, Wensleydale. Do you see how much we need that squeaky tank? We do need a squeaky tank. We absolutely need a squeaky tank. I don't know how Brock has moved. How has Brock moved? Have you noticed this? I didn't even notice that till. I think he's just moving while I'm not looking. He's covering up my Guinness World Record certificate. I need that. Have you got any more shit jokes? What does cheese made backwards, or are these 2 puns too cheesy for you? Oh, Edam. Edam is made backwards. It is indeed. What cheese is made backwards? Edam. Very good. Ivan, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Their messaging is shameful. Talking about Labour, I guess, not the shit jokes. Confusion, muddle, and contradictions. I won't fall silent on how they are mishandling it. They may have a massive majority, but they are accountable to us. Yeah, they absolutely are. And we should keep giving them shit. And you know what, Ivan? Sometimes when you give them loads of shit, it fucking works. It works with them taking the pip stuff out of the bill, didn't it? Worked with the winter fuel allowance, where they did a massive U-turn on that. Yeah, pressure does actually work. My washing machine is laughing at me. It's taking the piss out of my clothes, says Peter Music. That reminds me of another joke, which is what's silver and takes the piss? Oh, a dialysis machine. Brock, oh, sorry. I'm running late, so audio only. So bye. What do Wookiees smoke? Chewbacca. Oh, very good, very good. Right, I'm gonna fuck off now, because otherwise we're gonna be telling shit jokes for the rest of the day, and we have days to get on with, I'm pretty sure. So just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chat. I want to do a show this evening, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because I have some family commitments. But I do want to start doing a Reform Watch show, a weekly or maybe bi-weekly. I hate the term bi-weekly. It makes no sense. Bi-weekly can mean twice a week or once every 2 weeks. It's a completely redundant expression. So a once every 2 week show, a fortnightly. There you go. That's a better way of putting it than bi-weekly. A fortnightly show, or even maybe a monthly show. I call Reform Watch, where we talk about what we fuck up to around the country, fucking things up one council at a time. So we'll talk about that. But I probably won't be able to do a show later. So with that being the case, I will say thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:00 with another Morning Brew. We're going through the nation's headlines, international headlines, and having a bit of a chat about it. Throwing some jokes around, some terrible jokes, I hope. And at 1:00 tomorrow, we've got the agenda, me and Phil Morehouse. And then at 9:30, we have the Friday Night Social, which everyone loves because it's fun. And we just have a laugh about what's been going on in the world and try and stay on target of what we're supposed to be talking about and fail miserably every week. So come watch us fail miserably to stay on target. Very true, Graham. As a Labour Party member, I'm not hesitant to call them out when they need it, says Ivan. Yep, and you should do that. And I think that's a reason for staying in Labour. If you're a Labour member, the best thing you can do is stay in Labour and be in the tent pissing out. Just like fucking annoy them and go on at them and say, well, as a member, I deserve to have a voice, which you absolutely do. A group of sisters with 5 husbands could run their own league. They could, indeed. The League of Gentlemen. And keep drinking that watery water, says Trip Trip. Political Custard are doing reform nicely. They are, indeed. I like Political Custard. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all of the support. If you want to give a little bit more support, just give us a like. That's all you need to do. On the way out, give us a like, because you look at how many people have watched the video and how many people have liked it, and that ratio makes the algorithm ejaculate. I don't know. Ejaculate wildly. Which used to be a term meaning to exclaim. But now it means something very different. It's used in Sherlock Holmes a lot, which is hilarious. But there you go. Anyway, right, I'm going to go and take my ejaculations with me. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.